So welcome back, children, to today's Biblical Book Club.
Young people.
Yes, welcome back to our Biblical Book Club.
My gran says it used to be called Sunday School.
Well, yes, but today we live in more inclusive times.
You said she was going to hell for being left-handed. Not you, but the old vicar, years ago.
Well, the church has moved on since then. Nowadays, we have image consultants and marketing people and all sorts. We really are much more enlightened.
Dwindling market, more like it, my uncle says.
Yes, well, these days we encourage free speech and, of course, questioning.
OK, I've got a question, Vicar. Why are there so many plot holes in the Bible?
Plot holes?
Yeah, we've been taught by our school librarian to use the same rigorous analysis on scripture as we do with Marvel movies.
Well, I suppose God really is the ultimate superhero.
We don't mean that. Nothing fantasy. Superheroes aren't real like unicorns are. But, like, when God flooded the earth, why didn't he punish the fish as well?
Yeah, and if he is omnipotent, why did he send all those plagues to Egypt when he could have just freed the Israelites himself?
And why does it only ever happen in the Middle East and never like China?
Or Basingstoke?
And why are there no episodes set now or in space?
My, what interesting questions.
And why couldn't the people building the Tower of Babel not just work out what each other was saying after he gave them all different languages?
Yes, when I went to Wales, I bought an ice cream just by pointing.
Well, what really good questions, children. The answer is God moves in mysterious ways, his wonders to perform. You've got to have faith.
Oh yeah, my mum likes George Michael.
That's not what I mean.
And why, if you Google it on the internet, why are there so many different fan theory groups about God?
Well, we call them religious sects. Different interpretations.
We get that. But if Adam and Eve only ever had sons, so where did their grandkids come from? The only one around at the time was their mum. So where did the grandchildren come from?
That's never been fully explained. Big plot hole. And the potential answers are too yucky, even for EastEnders.
Well, it's not in the book, but Beta Canon says that God also created some ladies who aren't mentioned.
So you say that after God made the sun, the moon, the stars, the earth, trees, oceans, fish, duck-billed platypus, elephants, dolphins, ice cream, sorbets, slugs, tigers and dogs, Adam and Eve and a special tree with fruit that was as clever as Wikipedia, after all that, he just knocked up a couple of wives for Cain and Abel?
Yes.
Nah, not buying it.
OK, but how did Noah and his family look after two of loads of animals when London Zoo needs hundreds of people to manage? And stuck on a boat too.
Yeah, they'd be working all day just pushing the poo overboard.
And the lions would have eaten the gazelles.
It was a very big ark.
And the devil, is he really the baddie?
Of course he is. He leads us into temptation.
I think he's more like an anti-hero. He starts off meaning well, then goes bad.
Like Anakin Skywalker turning to the dark side, or Gollum in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that's the idea.
But Vicar, if Adam and Eve had followed the rules set down by God, they would have been slavishly obedient, unthinking slave robots.
Glassy-eyed cult members, brainwashed.
Like the Taliban are.
All those crazy Americans.
No, that was not God's intention.
Maybe, but by giving in to temptation and eating from the tree of knowledge...
Like you do when you can't resist another cream cake.
By doing that, Satan broke their conditioning and introduced Adam and Eve to freedom, self-determination, curiousness and inventiveness. They're good things, right?
Aha! But with free will came the ability to make bad decisions and make disastrous mistakes.
Mistakes? Like sending a flood? God makes mistakes too, doesn't he?
No, God does not make mistakes. He moves in mysterious ways we mere mortals cannot understand.
Like the showrunners who keep changing Doctor Who.
No.
But you're a vicar. If you can't explain them, Vicar, who can?
Aha, got you there. I can. It is because of original sin we as humans progress scientifically, culturally and spiritually. We can redeem ourselves. We can return to God via free will.
But why does he allow bad people like murderers and politicians? Why does he allow Queen's Park Rangers to lose some Saturdays? And Fulham to win?
And that making the world in 6 days thing. The Big Bang took nanoseconds, scientific fact.
When we had a kitchen extension done, my dad said it was a genuine miracle. The builders turned up on the day they said they would, even when they arrived mid-morning and mysteriously left mid-afternoon without telling him where they were going.
Is that how God works, Vicar?
Well, the Old Testament is largely metaphor, not to be taken too literally.
Okay, but in the New Testament, why did the authorities need Judas to point Jesus out to them? He arrived to huge crowds and spent his time in Jerusalem doing meet and greets and having a party.
And duffing up the moneylenders.
Yeah, like a rock star.
Seems to us like the Jerusalem police chief was as useless as our community support officer.
And if the 3 wise men had any sense, they'd have ditched the myrrh and got the baby Jesus a stuffed toy camel.
Or a bottle of Prosecco for Mary. Ladies love that. Well, my mum does anyway. It cheers her up when she's arguing with my dad about the bills.
And Vicar, where do you stand on gay marriage?
I think every marriage should be happy.
Yeah? If I were you, I'd email the Archbishop of Canterbury on that one.
Or the Pope?
And make the whole thing non-canon and do a reboot.
It needs a happier ending.
After all, a reboot worked for Spider-Man.
Though I think the explanation of why Klingons all look different in Star Trek is unconvincing.
A bit like the Aztec religion, really.
Yes, children, I think we can all agree killing people is wrong.
Even if they support Fulham?
That's what Jesus would do. Love thy neighbour as thyself.
What a relief! It's all metaphorical.